Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And of course, welcome to the much anticipated part 3 of the Road to National Master series. I'm excited to have all of you back, and just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do down below. It helps me a lot on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right in. So I want to start with tip number 1, which is find a training partner around your level and go over opening lines in interesting positions with them. So this can be especially helpful if one of you plays a particular line from the white side and the other one plays it from the black side. That way you achieve an incredible understanding of the positions that arise from a particular opening or particular openings. For example, I had a friend that played the white side of the advanced Caro-Kann and I played the black side. So with all of our training games and analyses, I got a really good understanding of the black side of the advanced Caro, and I feel very comfortable in those positions as a result. You can also play training games with this person as well as blindfold games, like I talked about in the last video. Now, circling back to the blindfold games, continuing to play blindfold games is very important, as your board visualization will keep getting better and better the more you play. Really push yourself to do this no matter how hard you find it to be. Just last week I played a blindfold game against my 2100 friend who wasn't blindfolded himself, and I got absolutely smacked. But it is incredible practice nonetheless, and I feel like my visualization is getting a lot better just by pushing myself to play those games. Alright, let's jump into tip number 2. Pick chess role models who best fit what type of player you aspire to be, whether this be fighting players like Jan Nepomniachtchi or solid players like Bu Zhangji. These should ideally be active players who play in tournaments regularly and play the same openings as you do. This will give you a chance to dedicate yourself to the study of particular players and understand the latest ideas those players are unleashing over the board. Now, these don't have to be top 10 grandmasters, and these role models can change over time if you want to study other players. Between the ratings of 2000 and 2200, my greatest inspirations were Peter Svidler, Vallejo Pons, Li Chao, and Vishy Anand, to name a few. But it's entirely up to you who you want to look up to, but whoever it is, make sure to study their games carefully. So I'll provide a few examples of why I studied the players I did. So let's start with Peter Svidler. When I was studying the Grunfeld and I wanted to go really deep in these lines, I thought who better to study than Peter Svidler. And sure enough, he has a ton of games in the Grunfeld, and it was a great experience for me to look at his games. Now, when I started adding the Dutch to my repertoire, I realized that Vallejo Pons would be the perfect player for me to study. He was the perfect combination of sharp play and just the desire to win that I wanted. So when I was studying the Dutch, I studied Vallejo. And when I was adding the classical Sicilian to my repertoire, I started studying the games of Li Chao. He has a great record in the classical Sicilian, and he plays those positions very dynamically. And of course, when I wanted to study the Caro-Kann, who better to study than Vishy Anand, former world champion and a great exponent of the Caro-Kann. Lots of variations there that he's an expert in. So if you're interested in the Caro, I would recommend Vishy as well. And on that same note of chess role models, feel free to drop a message in the comments with what openings you play, and I can try and give you a recommendation and guide you in the right direction as to who to follow to the best of my ability. No guarantees I'll be able to get it exactly right. A lot of that search will have to be up to you and who you admire. But if you don't have someone already, feel free to drop in the comments and I will help you. Now, tip number 3, the final tip. Don't confine yourself to a particular chess style. It's tempting to define yourself and put yourself in the box of being either a tactical or positional player, but this concept of style in chess is honestly quite toxic and unproductive. You need to be able to excel at both tactical and positional chess to make master, and putting yourself into a box will only create psychological barriers and limitations on your success, so don't do that. I hope that these 3 tips have helped you guys a lot. I'm trying to keep this video nice, short, and sweet because in addition to all the tips that I gave here, you should be following all the tips I gave in part 1 and part 2, and then merge the tips I give in this part with those in order to excel. So obviously the basic stuff like doing your tactics, playing openings you're passionate about, that all still applies when you're trying to go from 2000 to 2200. So make sure you remember to synthesize all the advice I've given in past videos and incorporate this advice too once you get to this level. I hope this helped. If it did, just a quick reminder to please subscribe, help me get to 1K subs, and I hope you guys have a good one. I'll catch you in the next video.